Hi guys, and welcome to this week's Wake Up CX. With Halloween fast approaching, I wanted to take on the topic of the fear of the phones. For some of us, it's not an issue. We just got on with it. It was the job we applied for, didn't really register as a major leap, a milestone to go on those phones. But for others, it's anxiety inducing. The idea of going on that phone with all the possibilities of what could happen on that call, it can be a paralyzing fear. When I first started out in contact centers, it's not something that really registered for me because I never experienced it myself. But other people did, and I would sit there going, why is this person in floods of tears? Like, they signed up for the job. Why did he not want to just go on the phone and earn the money and get it done? And it didn't really settle in my head that just how much anxiety can come from that first phone call and how do you overcome it. But over the years I've watched and I've seen these people that were overly confident going on the phones that failed, and then you've got those ones that had all the anxiety that have turned out to be some of the best agents I've ever worked with. And it's a reality that people have anxiety and we won't all experience it, but some of us will. But there are many things that you can do to help ease that anxiety so that you can overcome it. Now, if I was a doctor or a psychologist, they would give you breathing exercises, mental exercises that you can work through to help bring you to that precipice before you take that call. That will help calm you. And it's true, if you're regulating your breathing properly, it can be a huge help. And it doesn't matter if it's call any anxiety. If you regulate your breathing, it will help you. If you sit and work through things in your mind, all the possible scenarios over and over again, it's a negative. Because if you overthink something, you make it a bigger thing. All those small possible outcomes that were negative then become the main outcomes. Because you work every scenario to lead you to the path that is a negative one. But what you can do is arm yourself. So how do you arm yourself to fight a fear of going on the phones? First thing, you need service knowledge. As much of it as you can get. You want to understand the topics that you're going to be discussing. You want to feel confident having those conversations. And the way to do that is ignore the phone. As you're doing your service training and as you're gaining your knowledge and your customer experience knowledge, speak to people in your group. People that you're training with, the person that's training you, have conversations about it. Build up resilience to being told that you're wrong or that you've made a mistake. Because mistakes are fine, and if you're doing it in that sort of environment, there's no risk. If you make a mistake while you're training, your trainer's not going to get annoyed, your trainer's going to correct you and explain how. And they'll appreciate that you're participating in the training anyway, rather than just sitting there quietly and struggling. They're going to be much more accepting. They're going to be much more accepting of you openly speaking. Now, once you've built up your service knowledge and you've had these conversations with the people in your group, go and listen to some calls on the floor. See what other call handlers are experiencing, the variety and all the different things that can come through on the call. Because book learning, but real hand experiences, like first hand experience, is amazing. So yeah, go watch the calls, go listen to them. Take some time to buddy up with another call handler, and pause between the calls to discuss what happened. Now, one of the problems that we have here is that people then may have a bad call and it makes them more resistant to going on the phone. So while you're thinking you're making all this progress, one bad call can knock them right the way back. And unfortunately, that will happen. At some point, you're going to be stood on that precipice and you need to take the leap. So we've got breathing exercises, building your knowledge base, but the most important thing that we can do in the contact centre to help people overcome that is create a safe space for them. People need to know that making a mistake on a call is not going to cost them their job. They're not going to have to leave the business. They're not going to have their probation period ended. They're okay to make mistakes. What you can do, especially to even ease this out even more, is arrange for them to take calls with the trainer available and have a post-call recap. So you go over the call after it's done, any mistakes are corrected there and then, you get your live feedback from the trainer that sat with you, and if you do need to make corrections, you call back up to those customers and you say, look, I made a mistake, I apologise, this is what I'm going to do to correct it, this is how we're going to fix things. And the strange thing here is not only does that mean that your calls are getting treated well, but customers love it when you take the extra step. Even if you've made a mistake, if you are proactive in reacting to that mistake and bringing them to a solution, then the customer's going to be happy. And all that positive feedback will go back to the call handler that has the anxiety. And the more positive feedback they get, the more reassurance they get, the more it builds that confidence in them that they can do this. And if they build that confidence, that anxiety is going to start fading away. So, with Halloween approaching, it's time to fight some of those fears. Just pick up the phone. What do you do to help your call handlers fight anxiety of the phone? Let me know.